Just having a little dance to the music, aren't we? Welcome along, everybody, to the Weather Studio Live. We are broadcasting live from Met Office headquarters. I'm Alex Deakin.
And I am Anna Criswick.
Yeah, thank you for being there. Thank you for being involved. You're watching live, you're watching after the event. It doesn't really matter, but do get involved. Do ping us your questions. We've already got some people keen asking questions. We're going to answer a few questions from last week as well. So yeah, please do get involved. Do hit that like button, please. It does as a massive, massive favour. And share the love. Let everyone know that we do this live every Friday. We answer your questions about weather, about climate. We look at the detail of what's going on at the weekend, that kind of stuff. So yeah, share the love. Let everyone know. Do hit subscribe. Do hit the thumbs up. Thank you very much. Didn't do one last week, so if you've missed us, and it's been a couple of weeks with the Easter break. What have you been up to?
Well, honestly, since last Friday, stuffing my face with chocolate. I've got quite a lot of Easter eggs, weirdly enough. But also working, eating chocolate.
What's your chocolate of choice? What have you been mostly consuming?
I've had quite a lot of cream eggs.
Cream eggs? I haven't had a cream egg. I love a cream egg, and I haven't had one. Because they have them in a little tea bar over there, don't they?
Yeah.
79p seems a bit toppy.
A bit steep, yeah.
I literally remember when they were 9p. That's how old I am.
Yeah, I don't remember that. But they are a bit present. And do you know what else I had this week? A white cream egg.
Oh, I wanted to try those.
They're good.
Because what you want, because cream eggs, they're just not sweet enough, right? So you want, you want them to be.
You just need one though. That's how sweet they are.
Yeah.
One
so
is enough.
The non-white ones, you have more than one. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you know.
Wow.
Maybe.
Okay, I haven't had one yet. I want to have one, and you know they're probably reduced in the supermarkets now.
Yeah, I have been tempted to bring some of my chocolate in because I've got that much. But I haven't done it yet.
Haven't done.
I haven't done it. I keep saying I might and then I don't.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, you've been away on holiday.
I have.
You?
Yeah. I had a week in Menorca, which was nice, but full of jellyfish.
Yeah. No
very
sea
jellyfishy.
swimming.
Yeah. It was the way the winds were and time of year and stuff. But yeah, a lot of nasty jellyfish, the stingers as well. Not just so.
Don't want that during your sea swim.
No. But we had a good time. It was good.
Nice.
This week, 10-day trend.
Yes, that was me. It was quite a good one actually, because we spoke about possibly things warming up as we head into next week, which it does look like they are. So I'm sure many people will be happy about that news. I know lots of us are fans of the hot, dry weather, aren't we?
Well, lots of people are. Some people like rain, which is also fine. We will be talking about that a lot. That is obviously a big question, you know, about the warmth next week. Yes, you've probably heard it is getting warmer through the weekend. Also going to be talking about the marathon today. It's the London Marathon.
Yes.
I've done one in the past, and another of our colleagues has done one in the past as well. So we'll be talking a little bit about how the weather affects the London Marathon, because it's going to be a very warm one. Probably not the warmest on record, but it might be close, certainly up there. It's going to be very warm, which isn't good news for the runners, but is good news for the spectators. Yeah,
if you're going to go watch, it's quite nice.
So yeah, that's kind of the flavour of what we're talking about this week. But do keep your questions coming around anything to do with that. Another thing that's gone out this week, Climate Conversations, which is our YouTube podcast, which was about sustainable fashion. I haven't had a chance to watch it because I'm only just back from leave, but I'm going to watch it, and I think we can show a little clip of it. Climate Conversations.
There's no one quick fix to the problems in the fashion industry. We have to look at all avenues. So we're looking at better labelling so that we know where fabrics go, where all items of textiles go in the waste stream and how they end up in certain places. We're looking at better labelling so that consumers know what to do with those items. What bin do they put it in? Or can they put it into the bin? Or can they put it in with their rubbish, or how do they recycle things? We're looking at better systems so that if you take something to the charity shop is able to know what the item of clothing is made of, so they know how to dispose of things. We're talking to manufacturers and designers so that they could design items of clothing that are made all from one fabric, entirely polyethylene, for instance. So that goes down to the zip and the fastenings and other things, because one of the issues with clothing is that they are so complicated.
That was Tamara Galloway from Exeter University talking about sustainable fashion and how people need to think about designing clothes with the end in mind, how they're going to be reused and stuff. So absolutely, so it's a fascinating watch. So you can check that out. We'll put the link in the chat, no doubt. But do keep your questions coming in. We've got a few to answer from last week. We'll start with Jane Lovering.
Oh, yes.
who asks, my son is getting married on the 10th of May in North Yorkshire. Do we know what the weather will be doing then? Hoping for some more of the glorious sunshine.
Oh, that is a good question. 10th of May, though, is it just over a couple of weeks away, isn't it?
It's a good time of year to get married, though. I got married on the 13th of May.
Did you?
So, yeah, May's a good time to get married.
Was it dry?
It was dry. It wasn't very sunny.
No.
But it was good for the photos.
Oh, yeah?
People always want hot, sunny weather for their wedding, but it's not. If you're wearing a morning jacket, you don't want to be hot.
You don't want it to be hot
and sweaty. And you want bit of cloud for the photos, and if it's in and out, so yeah, I think cloudy and dry is the perfect weather.
Yeah, that's true.
Could have been a bit warmer for us, but yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, a little bit too soon to say, but we do have our 14-day outlook that goes out on our app on a Tuesday and Friday, so keep an eye on that and we can take a look at the trends as we work our way towards the kind of 10th of May kind of time. So keep an eye on that, and obviously we'll have our Weather Studio live next week as well, so maybe we can take another look.
Ask the question again next week, Jane, but thank you for the question. Good luck, hope it goes okay, and whatever the weather, you'll have a wonderful day.
Yeah,
so don't sweat too much about the weather.
Exciting.
It really isn't that important, but you'll have a wonderful day, especially in North Yorkshire, you know, God's country. What's not to love about being in Yorkshire? Another question from last week, Alan Drury. I have a question. How many weather presenters does the Met Office have? I notice a set of familiar faces who appear often, but often several others we see only occasionally. Who decides who presents what? Is there a rota? Is there a primary critic? What's the full details, Alan? Please explain how it all works. Well, we probably can't explain how it all works, but there is a rota.
Yeah, we do. So we have almost weekday presenters and weekend presenters, don't they? We can't work 7 days a week and we don't want to. So we have our kind of main presenters who work Monday to Friday, doing everything from deep dives, 10-day trends to just your general everyday forecasting. There's 5. But I guess 6. I'm Annie's maternity cover, so eventually Annie will be coming back in a few months. And then we have our other media team, so they cover the forecasting on the weekend. So our actual operational side of forecasting is 24/7. So they do that alongside our presenting on the weekend. And that's what I used to do. But now I'm on the weekdays now, and then eventually I'll be back to the weekends.
Yeah. So there's a 24/7 bench upstairs called Media Services, and they do a lot of the media stuff. So they often brief other weather presenters from around the country who are not necessarily meteorologists. Talk to them about what the weather's going to do. So briefing a lot of the media people, but at the weekends they do cover our broadcasts as well, because the presenters, the 5 of us, myself, Aidan, Alex, Honor and Claire, and Annie's coming back, we kind of do Monday to Friday, so that's kind of how it works. But there's a rota within that. Claire does certain broadcasts, we do certain broadcasts, and
we kind of end up presenting a week and then we do other things the second week, don't we? And it mostly goes like that, unless people take 2 weeks off to go to Menorca, you know.
Wow. Okay. So that's pretty much how it goes. Hope that answers your question. Good question, though. That's the kind of stuff we want. We don't necessarily happy to answer questions specifically about weather, but also how we work, that kind of stuff. That's what we're here for. Samuel says, my Met Office weather app in the northeast is saying 24 degrees next Wednesday, or is there still a bit of uncertainty? Samuel, I'm guessing you're saying northeast England, 24 in northeast Scotland. Probably ambitious, although maybe on the Murray first. But yeah, certainly it is warming up next week. We'll have more on that in a second when we go through the details. Any early trends to what? Hi, Steve O says, any early trends to suggesting what summer will be like? Not really, no. People often think, don't they, because it's been a whatever winter or whatever spring, is summer going to be the same? And there just isn't that. There isn't that link. There are certain patterns around the globe, global drivers that can influence things a little bit, but particularly summer.
It's
you don't get those strong indications. You know, La Nina, El Nino, those kind of things don't have much of an influence on our summer. So there really isn't. We wish there was, because that's what everyone wants to know, but there really isn't.
A bit too soon.
And Ian Burks, what will the weather be in Cranwell in Lincolnshire on Monday? We'll get to that in a moment when we go past. Will there be a Victory in Europe fly past rehearsal? I think Ian Burks is getting ahead of the game, ahead of VE Day. He wants to spot cloud and plane spotting. Will there be a rehearsal, which there could well be? Yes, good thinking. We'll have more on that momentarily. But yeah, do keep questions coming in. Do hit that like button. Do us a big favour.
Landscape says a cheesecake with an Easter egg in it. You can make cheesecake with Easter eggs in. Maybe I should do that. No?
Bring that in.
And then maybe bring it in.
Oh, maybe bring it in. We're going to eat a whole cheesecake now.
I could eat a whole cheesecake, but I probably
Especially if it's got Easter eggs in.
Yeah.
Right, let us know in the chat what your favourite Easter egg is, or what you got, or whether you took stuff in for your colleagues at work because you're nice, or whether you scoffed it all for yourself. Whether you can remember a 9p Easter cream egg.
That's true.
How do you eat yours, by the way?
How do I eat my Easter egg?
No, your cream eggs. Well,
Oh, my cream eggs.
all in one?
Well, I used to put them in the fridge. I think we've had this discussion about, but actually it's too much. It's too much. So actually, I've gone back to room temperature cream eggs.
All chocolate should be at room temperature. You
No.
shouldn't put chocolate in the fridge.
No, like just a bar of dairy milk in the fridge is so good.
It's wrong.
Yeah, but no, I don't know. I could probably eat a cream egg in one bite, to be honest.
I used to
Gulp it down.
put it in a little egg cup and chip the
Really?
top off. Yeah, like a proper dippy
Did you
egg.
really?
Yeah.
What did you dip
It's
anything
very
in?
Sad. No, well, just my
Your finger. No.
Anyway, confectionery chat. Who thought that would appear on
Yeah, maybe we should talk about
on
the
the
weather
Weather
again.
Studio Live? Okay, one more question from last week. Looking to continue dry. So this is Dave Walters, 6246. How long will it be before we have drought conditions?
That is an interesting question because that has been quite dry in some areas. I can actually show us if I move over
Yes,
to the
let's
board.
have a look at the maps.
I can show you how, not tripping on my mic, I can show you how dry it's been for some areas so far this year. So this is up to the 23rd of April. What's the date to this? So is that yesterday or the day before?
Tuesday, 25th today.
Yeah, okay.
Wednesday. I'm confused about what day because
Yeah.
Wednesday, St George's Day.
St George's Day, yeah, that's right. So you can see already from this map here, there's very dark brown colours. That's where it's been most driest. This is just for April so far. It says here we'd normally expect a kind of average kind of rainfall around 77%, which we can see in some areas. That's more the kind of whiter colours, so Northern Ireland, far northwest of Wales, southern parts of Wales, parts of Devon it looks like. But overall, many areas of England, Wales, Scotland have seen a very dry month so far, particularly in the east here. We can see parts of Yorkshire, a little bit parts of Lincolnshire, very dry month for the time of year, kind of around 20% of the average that we'd normally see. So it has been incredibly dry. Northern parts of Scotland as well have been quite dry. Obviously, it will be slightly different depending on your kind of geographical location. We tend to get weather fronts coming in from the west, in from the Atlantic, so it does tend to be a little bit wetter here and then drier across the southeast. But a large portion of the country has been very dry for the time of year. So, so that's quite an interesting point that we've kind of noticed for April so far.
Chocolate brown
Yes.
colour, that map. But by the way, we're running a poll. Emma's running a poll
Oh,
about whether
about these?
chocolate should be kept in the fridge or not, which is
Oh.
which is the big issue of the day, I think. But yeah, important. If it was a bang average April,
Yes.
that map will be white.
Be white.
Because it will be in that 75 to 125% bracket.
Yes,
So
above
anything
average
brown
green or
is showing
blue.
below average, but that is compared to the whole month,
Yes.
not necessarily to where we are at the month. But as you say, 23rd, we're over 3 weeks in, so you'd have expected 3/4 of the rainfall. By now, at least.
Yeah, it's
So
May next week, isn't it?
it is May next
So,
week. Thursday is the
gosh.
1st of May. There is
Flying
less than
past.
a week left of April.
My goodness.
Lots of questions coming in about the warmth and about how warm is it going to be next week. So yeah, about next week. Lots of questions about next week.
Yes. Yeah, the real question as we head into next week is how hot is it actually going to get? Temperatures are increasing day by day as we head from Sunday. But what's really interesting, what I'm going to show you here, is actually where our air is coming from. We tend to kind of talk about hot air coming from the south, a warm plume moving its way up from the south, perhaps from all the way up from Africa, creating heat wave conditions. But what we're actually seeing into next week is something slightly different. It's not uncommon, it actually happens quite a lot. But if we follow, just drag this through, I move this through just into Tuesday. Notice we have an area of high pressure just out to the east. Areas of high pressure move around in a clockwise direction. But if we just follow these isobars back, we actually notice that our air is coming all the way from Scandinavia. So actually it's not a warm plume from the south, which it initially looks like if you just follow the isobars here. But if you follow it all the way back, our air is coming from Scandinavia. And we can see this here on some trajectories. So this is for the 30th, I think that's Wednesday, isn't it? So what we notice, if we follow where our air is actually coming from, moves all the way eastwards into Europe and then moves north from across Scandinavia. But what actually is happening is as our air moves towards the UK, it's moving into high pressure. Now, areas of high pressure, that's where the air is descending. We get subsidence, and as this takes place, the air moves downwards, it tends to warm up. And we're having that over a few consecutive days. So day by day, temperatures are increasing, our air is getting warmer and warmer. Because actually, if we take a look at Thursday, actually the air that we're receiving is circulating quite close to the UK. It doesn't really have much of a source region by the time we reach Thursday. It's just we're still under the conditions of high pressure, still the air is descending, subsidence is taking place and that air is warming as it does so. And when this takes place over a few days, the temperatures tend to get warmer and warmer. So that's actually the reason why we're starting to see those quite warm temperatures into next week. But how warm is it actually going to get? Well, let's take a look. If I just move over here, I'm going to get some graphs up for you. So let's take a look at London, for example. If it's going to work. I'll get there eventually. There we go. A few more taps. So if we take a look across the southeast, this is for Arsenal FC, but we can see as we move through into next week's temperatures increasing by a degree or two day by day. This is saying highs of around 25 degrees for Wednesday and Thursday. If we look at elsewhere, Epping, for example, highs of 23. Our models do tend to be a degree or two lower than we initially expect, so it's likely that we could start to reach kind of 25, 26, possibly 27 as we head through Wednesday and Thursday. But even other areas, so let's take a look at Northern Ireland, not quite as high actually across here, but starting to move into the low 20s. Take a look at Scotland once again, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, high teens, mid 20s. So it's likely that by Wednesday, Thursday, many areas will be quite warm, particularly across the far southeast. Mid to high 20s, definitely possible. But is it going to be a heat wave? We've seen lots in the news so far about heat wave conditions, mini heat wave conditions. We've seen them in articles, etc. But actually for a heat wave to take place, you need to reach a certain temperature depending on your geographical location in the UK. And you need to see that temperature or above for 3 consecutive days. So it really depends whereabouts you are in the UK. So for Scotland, for example, we need to reach 25 degrees or more, 3 consecutive days or more. But across London, we'd actually need to reach 28 degrees or more for 3 consecutive days or more. And it's just slightly different, the threshold, depending on your location in the UK, just because of the kind of climatology of the UK. So a good chance that actually there'll be some certain days where we reach these temperatures, but is it going to be for 3 consecutive days? It's unlikely. So it's unlikely that we'll see heat wave conditions. It looks like it might perhaps be turning a little bit cooler as we head towards the end of the week. But a good chance of a hot spell, despite it not being a heat wave. It's still going to feel very warm. There's going to be lots of sunshine around. And obviously, many of us, when the weather starts to get a bit nicer, we do tend to head to the beach, go for a little sea swim, a bit safer in the UK, not as many jellyfish. But another thing to note about is the sea surface temperatures. Still quite cool at this time of year, end of April, beginning of May. You can see for many areas here, if we just follow the key on the bottom, areas of northeast England, northeast Scotland, sea surface temperatures still about 8 degrees Celsius. Across the southeast, 10 degrees, in the west around 10 degrees. So you're really going to feel that cold sea once you come from that quite warm air, dip into the cold sea. You're really going to feel it. So do take care if you plan a little beach trip with along with the warmer temperatures. So yes, a hot spell is on its way. Unlikely to be a heat wave, but many areas likely to see temperatures around the mid-20s as we head into next week.
Gordy B is asking, what's the highest temperature reached so far this April? Are we likely to break any records before the end of the month? Good question, Gordy B. I'm not going to tell you what the highest temperature is reached in April because it's part of the quiz, which is coming up. And I don't want to give away too many clues for honour because that is coming up in the quiz shortly. Are we likely to break any records before the end of the month? Well, I can tell you what the record April temperature is 29.2 all-time April record.
Oh, okay.
unlikely to break that, but it's not out the question. It's not completely out the question because the warm spell is really peaking Wednesday, Thursday next week. Now, Thursday's the 1st of May, so it would need to be on Wednesday. As you said, 27 is the kind of ballpark, but, you know, things can change between now and then. It's 5 days away, so it's not completely out the question. We could break that all-time April record. Another one is the minimum, the highest minimum temperature, which is actually quite low for April. That is a record that could go as well. We'll be tweeting out some of the current April stats later today, so keep an eye across our Twitter feed. Another question coming in from Wild Violet. Again, Wild Violet, Gordy B, regular contributors to the shows. Thank you for being there. Thank you for doing that and putting these questions in. My girlfriend's birthday is on Saturday. We're going to Louth, which is in Lincolnshire. I only know that because I'm from around that area. I was like, just testing your geography. And it's outdoor. What will the weather be like in Louth tomorrow, please?
In Louth tomorrow on Saturday. Oh, okay, that's a good question. Let's take a look. Actually, I will keep this up because this gives you a nice broad overview. So if we shift our way over to Saturday, let's take a look. Just move it towards the morning because there's going to be some cloud and rain to start, but in Louth you'll probably be okay. This touch screen doesn't like me today. Here we go. So we do have, we're seeing quite a lot of rain, particularly today across Northern Ireland. It's as a result of this frontal system that we can see as we head into Saturday morning. It's draped across more kind of central areas of the UK. It's quite slow moving and it's moving its way in from the west. So it is dragging in some quite low clouds, some light outbreaks of rain into parts of the west, but it's going to clear away quite nicely across Northern Ireland. But actually further east, it's probably going to be okay, fairly dry, but as that system just slowly edges its way eastwards, a chance you might start to see a little bit more cloud move through. Ooh, there we go. So by the time we reach the afternoon, potentially a little bit of cloud just starting to clip in, but it's probably just going to be high cloud, hazy sunshine, so it's still going to be dry. Fairly light winds as well, which makes it feel that little bit more pleasant. Now, it's always a little bit cooler over the next particularly today, around kind of eastern coasts, isn't it? So perhaps not feeling as warm as further inland, but it's going to be dry, plenty of good weather to get out and about. And
pretty good in Louth, I think, for a Saturday in April. So happy birthday. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful time, and thank you for your message and question. I think the touchscreen's had too many Easter eggs, isn't it? It's feeling sluggish. It's feeling sluggish, and it's a bit slow. It's not responsive today. But we could, let's be brave and go across Europe, because Gabrielle, another regular contributor, has asked. She's going to the Bavarian Alps on May the 1st, which is next Thursday. So that might be a little beyond. Should she be afraid of thunderstorms? They also put, I'm going to miss next week's live, which is pretty much unacceptable. But you'll be able to catch up when you get back, right?
Yeah, you can still watch
the live when you get back. Yeah, there is no escape. That's no excuse. But yeah, 1st of May, so that's next Thursday, long way off. Thunderstorms over the Bavarian Alps.
Yeah, it's a little bit further out. What have we got? Because it
looks like high pressure's building.
Yeah, there has been some unsettled weather. I don't think it quite reached the Alps. Elsewhere, kind of the Adriatic coastline, we've had quite heavy showers and thunderstorms. But across the Alps, let's have a look. If we head into... Yeah, it does look like largely high pressure is building. This is just going up to Wednesday, so it's probably going to be quite nice. But, I mean, do they want some snow? If you're heading to the Alps, I feel like I'd want some snow.
To the Bavarian Alps, I wouldn't have thought, probably just going, I don't know. Yeah, let us know what you're up to, Gabrielle.
Yeah, but at the moment, I can't quite go that far ahead. But it does look like high pressure's building. It's probably going to be fairly settled. Hopefully seeing some sunny spells, but yeah. Go high enough, there should be some snow.
Andrew Jones Maguire, doesn't the heatwave threshold have to have nighttime temperature component too? No, it doesn't, Andrew. That's a good question, though.
Yeah,
good question. The heatwave threshold is different to the heat alerts that the UKHSA issue. That we don't issue those. We are involved in the process and let them know the temperature. So in terms of a heat alert, the UK HSA, that does contain the nighttime temperatures. But for a specific heat wave across the UK, no, it's just the daytime temperatures have to reach those threshold values for 3 days in a row. The nights can be cool. It's about what the maximum temperature is for it to be called a heat wave. It's not the same as the heat health alert thing because, yeah, they're different things.
Yes.
So that's why. I hope that answers that question. I recorded a heatwave explainer earlier this week, which will be out hopefully next week. It'll come out to explain exactly what the definition of a heat wave is. Laskit, why does the UK and the rest of Europe use Celsius and Canada Fahrenheit? I don't think Canada does use Fahrenheit. It's America uses USA uses Fahrenheit. I'm not sure. I think Canada uses Celsius.
Yeah.
USA, I saw quite a funny map about who used Fahrenheit and Celsius. It was a few weeks ago. It was on Twitter, I believe, or Threads. I think Canada uses Celsius, but I'm not completely convinced. America uses Fahrenheit. And it said and the UK was in a different colour to everyone else. And it says it only uses Fahrenheit when the newspapers are interested in temperature. Because it sounds more dramatic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It goes,
My dad uses Fahrenheit. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
When did it change? Did it change when we went decimal? I think so. The early 70s.
I think it did.
So it changed before I was born. But when I was at the BBC, you always used to have to do a conversion.
Oh.
So because most people, or a lot of people were brought up in Fahrenheit that couldn't. But I think most people now under the age of 60 are used to Celsius. But but we always used to have to convert. So we used to know them off by heart. There's some really good ones. The 28 is 82 because that kind of flips. And 61 is 16. And 10 is 50. So there's certain ones that I always know, and then I kind of work out the other ones from the gaps in between. So you have a certain one, So that's just one of those things. I don't
know why.
I'd be interested. I think Canada uses Celsius, and it's America the only ones that use Fahrenheit. I think. We should all use Kelvin. That would be easy. That would be more sensational, wouldn't it?
That would throw us off.
300 Kelvin next week. Right, in Germany we call it a tropical night. We have the same definition, Gabrielle. Yeah, a tropical night is when temperatures, although Gabrielle's saying it's 25 Celsius in Germany, in the UK it's just 20 Celsius would be a tropical night.
Yeah.
And they're becoming more frequent due to climate change. Right, one more. What's the weather going to be like in Liverpool on Sunday? Yes, I love this question.
Liverpool on Sunday.
Chazando. LFC.
Chazando.
What's the weather going to be like in Liverpool on Sunday? Because I'm going to Anfield to watch my team potentially win the Premier League. It's no potentially about it. It's going to happen. Only need a draw. Liverpool only need a draw. And
I did think that they only need a draw.
Yeah, you were across that. And who are they playing again?
Big fan.
Who are they playing again?
What are we talking about?
Yes, Liverpool Spurs on Sunday afternoon at Anfield.
Of course.
The weather looks pretty good for the celebrations.
Yeah, it's probably going to be pretty nice in Liverpool. It's probably going to feel a little bit warmer as well on Sunday. Have we got any kind of... Oh gosh, this touchscreen really doesn't like me.
No, it's been really fickle today, isn't it?
It might just maybe turn a little bit cloudier into the afternoon, but probably still seeing some sunny spells, feeling warm, relatively light winds.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yes. Just the final word on the chocolate.
Okay, go on.
63%.
What?
Out the fridge.
Out the fridge?
Yes, cupboard. Out the fridge.
Well,
37%.
it really depends on what chocolate.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Right, it must be time for the quiz.
Yeah,
I think. Shall we do a quiz? Yes, let's
do
have
it.
a quiz.
Yeah.
We're dancing today. We are dancing today to the music. Right, it is quiz time.
Okay.
It's a special London Marathon theme this week because it is the London Marathon. It's going to get quite warm. The weather has a big impact. It's either, in my experience, really good for the runners and not good for the spectators, i.e. it's cool and showery, or it's good for the spectators, it's nice and sunny, but then it's too warm for the runners.
Yeah.
This year, it's definitely going to favour the spectators because it is looking like it's going to be warm. It's going to be dry, it's going to be fine, a little cool at the start, which is perfect, but then any kind of sun when it's... Are you a runner?
Do you know, I did a little bit of running during COVID because there was nothing else to do. And I do remember one afternoon going for a run and it was so hot and humid and all the bugs were like sticking to my face because it was so humid. The bugs were, like, getting caught in the air, and I've never ran since.
There is an image. Sweaty on a covered in bugs, delightful.
I prefer running on a treadmill with a big fan next to me if I'm going to do it.
I heard the other day, if you're on a treadmill, you should raise it to 0.5 to
I do tend to do
compensate.
that.
Oh, okay. You're
running up a hill.
Yeah.
I'm doing.
But have you ever run the London Marathon?
I haven't. No. On the bucket list.
I have,
yes.
and so has one of our other colleagues. So Clare Nazir has run one, and here's a little clip of her talking about her interesting experience of running the London Marathon.
The 2004 London Marathon still holds a special place in my heart, mostly because it was the wettest and the coldest marathon on record, until Storm Alex in 2020. Now, my best friend Kate and I lined up at the start, totally overwhelmed, and when the gun went off, we literally just jumped to the side as thousands of runners surged past us. Mile 19, the rain was biblical. We were slowing down, and then an armadillo overtook us. 6 hours later, we crossed that finish line, shivering, exhausted, and practically alone, with volunteers packing up around us. But we did it. And honestly, would I do it again? Probably not.
Fantastic stuff from Clare, overtaken by an armadillo, and she had a very soggy marathon. It wasn't actually the wettest, officially the wettest on record, as we'll get into in the quiz. But yeah, the weather has a big impact on the conditions of the London Marathon. So let's talk a little bit. Let's do the quiz on a London Marathon theme. So the warmest London Marathon on record was back in 2018. But was the temperature that day higher or lower than the current warmest day of this year? I'm starting with a tricky one.
Okay.
Starting with a tricky one. It will get easier. But there's only 3 answers: warmer, the same, or cooler. It is close. So is the warmest London Marathon on record warmer or cooler or the same as the current warmest day for this year? So do you know
for
what
this year?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you know what the warmest day of this year so far was? It was the 12th of April in Northolt.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what the number was? And then work out whether the warmest London Marathon was warmer or cooler than that.
Was the marathon warmer or cooler? I feel
2018.
like...
Let us know your answers. Fill in the poll.
I don't know.
Emma's on the poll. Yeah. Warmer, the same, or cooler?
I think... I'm trying to remember what the...
What that temperature was. That's mean of me, isn't it? To me, you have to.
I wasn't here. I was in Iceland. Otherwise, I'm sure I'd know it.
Yeah, that's true. You weren't here. That is cool. Okay, I'll let you know. The current...
Phone a friend.
The current warmest temperature this year is 24.0 degrees Celsius. That was recorded at Northolt on the 12th. So I've given you a clue there because I did forget you were in Iceland.
Okay.
So the warmest day this year so far is the warmest London Marathon on record back in 2018 warmer or cooler than that?
I feel like it's close.
It's very close. It's very close.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nasty question.
Okay, I think I'm going to go...
You can go for the same if you want. Warmer, the same, or cooler.
I'm going to go... I don't know. I'm going to go warmer. I like to look at...
Don't look at the answer. Don't look at the action. Oh, you're looking at the... Oh, good. Okay, good.
No. I was looking at your reaction.
Oh, okay. I was just reading Greg's suggestion that Claire and I have a marathon off next year.
I love that.
Maybe we should.
I can be at the starting position, just like the thumbnail.
Yes. Yeah, you're good with the starter. Okay, that question is in the bag. You've answered it. Let me know.
I've gone for warmer.
2. The wettest London Marathon on record was 1983.
Oh.
So before you were born, how much rain was recorded that day in London? 2.6 millimetres, 12.6 millimetres, 22.6 millimetres, or 32.6 millimetres. So the wettest London Marathon on record, 83, which is only the third year it was run. It started in 81, didn't it? How much rain fell in Greenwich on that day? 2.6 mils, 12.6 mils, 22.6 mils, 32.6 mils.
I feel like it's going to be the 22 or 36, isn't it? Gotta be. Right?
You're
not giving me any hints.
It's been over 40 years of it, so chances in April you get some heavy rain, do you? But no clues.
No clues, no more clues. Had my clue. Okay. Ooh, I don't know.
Let us know your answers. Keep them coming in. Fill the box in.
I did have a cheeky look at some marathon stats before I joined this live because I knew you were going to ask me about it, but I can't remember what.
Wow, and there was a blog.
I can't remember.
Ryan wrote a blog
about
There's a blog that we're all about the London Marathon.
I'm going to go. I have a feeling.
Paul James says, if I took part in the London Marathon, I would wear a body bag to save time at the end. Paul, come on, Paul.
Oh my God.
It's not that bad. Come on.
It's an amazing achievement,
Lots
though. One of my
people-
friends is doing it this year.
Oh, are they?
I'm very proud.
I'll give him a shout out. Who's doing it?
Yeah. Oh, her name's Millie. She's running this year.
Go Millie.
Millie the midwife, my friend.
Millie the
what I call her.
midwife. That's a good. Is she a midwife? Or did you call
She
her
is a
that?
midwife.
Oh,
Otherwise, that
that's
would
good.
be totally
would
weird.
Right. Question 3.
Okay.
If you've answered that one, haven't you?
Yep.
Question 3. What is the lowest minimum recorded in London on the day of the marathon? Minus 1.9, plus 1.9, plus 3.9, plus 5.9. I'll give you a clue. It was in 1991.
Okay.
So again,
Still wasn't born.
Again, before you were born.
Sorry, can you give them to me one more time?
Yeah, minus 1.9, plus 1.9, plus 3.9, plus 5.9 Celsius, the lowest minimum recorded in London on the day of the marathon. You want it cool to start with. You don't want it too
I reckon
cold.
it's quite
When I
low.
ran it was quite fresh. When I ran it, it was everything went perfectly.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. We had one really brief shower.
Was it
With
quite
a bit,
nice,
with a bit of
though?
hail in, but
Oh,
that was
maybe
quite
not.
refreshing. That was a bit
The
stingy,
hail is-
but it wasn't like hard hail. It was just like a little bit. I was like,
hail.
ooh.
Okay.
And it wasn't. The showers weren't really forecast either, so I was running along thinking, this isn't forecast. That was the only troubling time. But it didn't last long. It soon passed. Everything else went perfectly.
Okay.
I had the best experience running a marathon. So much so that I never want to do it again. Because I'll never be able to. I'd never be able to have that achievement. But my wife, it was a hellish day because she had 2 kids, 1 5, 1 2, and my parents, who were in the 70s, and they had to get around London with huge crowds, and they carrying like big balloons, like helium balloons, so I could see them. So my poor wife had 2 kids and these 2 elderly, my elderly
Helium
parents.
balloons.
Helium was trying to get around London in huge crowds. It was a nightmare for her. I had a much easier day just
Good thing
running
it
a marathon.
wasn't. The hail wasn't any bigger. It would have popped the balloons.
That is true. Right, so the minimum temperature in London on that day. Right, question 4 is all about me. When I ran it in 2016, talked about the weather, but what was my time? I've given you a clue, saying it was perfect. Was it A, just under 3.5 hours, B, just under 4 hours, C, just under 4.5 hours, or D, just under 5 hours?
I don't know, like
3.5.
what an average time even is.
Well, the elite runners do it in 2 hours.
Okay.
Put it that way.
Okay. So if you're doing it, that's pretty good.
Claire did it in over 6 hours.
Okay.
But she hadn't trained. She put in the thing. She hadn't trained.
Yeah.
Also, just name dropping that. My friend Kate. That's Kate Garraway. She's talking about like that. She just
No
drops
big
it.
deal.
Oh, me and my friend Kate
No
did
big
it. She
deal.
means to about Kate Garraway. Such a glam. She's so glam, is Claire. So she won't mind me saying she was over 6. She was overtaken by that armadillo. So I did beat Claire, but was it just under 3.5 hours, just under 4 hours, just under 4.5 hours, or just under 5 hours?
I don't know. I feel like
you've got a bit. Yeah, what do you
I
think?
can imagine you're quite a good runner. Back then.
Back. Wow. It was.
It's still probably better than me.
It was. Almost 10 years ago next year. Yeah, 9 years ago. Like I say, no plans to do it again.
Got my guess in.
3.0. People. Martin Bain's guessing 3.9 based on that for the temperature. Andrew Jones McGuire, I'm going to do really bad in this quiz. Well, yeah, just guess. It's all a bit of fun.
I have no idea how I'm doing.
How old
this
was I
quiz.
back then? Gabriel is asking. So it was 2016. So I was. That's a fair question. I was 42. 42. Well, I had 2 young children as well, so that is kind of also, that adds years to your life, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Liam Parker saying just under 3.5 hours. Oh, bless you, Liam. That's a strong guess.
Positive.
Yeah. Great show, Steve-O says. Oh, thanks, Steve-O. If you are enjoying it, do hit the subscribe, do hit the like button, do hit that thumbs up button. That would be really, really good, really, really helpful. Thank you very much if you are enjoying it. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, do that as well. But we are not done with the quiz. There is one more question.
Okay.
Da, da, da.
What's it going to be?
In what year, it's not weather related this at all, in what year did the London Marathon, but if you've read the blog, you'd know this, in what year did the London Marathon celebrate its 1 millionth finisher? Now, I'll give you a clue.
Okay.
A bit of a clue. It's been going since 81. So 81 was the first one.
Okay.
This year, there are 50, they're going for a record this year, trying to get a record number of finishers. I think there's 56,000 people running it. This year, but that number has increased quite a lot over the years. So when it first ran, it was small thousands of people running it. You see what I mean? So that number has increased quite a lot. But there's an idea, ballpark. What
do
year?
I not have multiple choice?
Yes, you do.
I was going to say that.
Sorry. What year did the marathon celebrate its millionth finisher? A, 2014. B, 2016. C, 2018. Or D, 2020. Interestingly, the 2021 COVID year was run in October, which skews the stats a little bit.
Yes.
But, because most of the time it's run in April. It's quite a late one this year as well. Normally it's kind of late teens, early 20s of the month, but it has to avoid Easter, so it's really quite late. It could be one of the latest, and also contributing to the fact that it's going to be a very warm one. So we're getting for 22 on Sunday, but I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't 23 or even a little bit higher. Right, your answer is locked in.
I have guessed.
You have guessed that.
Although I feel like maybe I might have got some right from my quick look this morning. But
yeah, I think you're doing all right. I think you're doing all right. Yeah. I'm impressed with your. So yeah, fill in the polls, fill in the question. 2018, 46% going for that. Liam Parker says 2016. Gordy B, 2018. Paul Skilling. Weather looking very warm next week. Yes, Paul, we've already chatted about that. 27 is likely next week across parts of the UK, maybe even a touch higher by Thursday. Ian Robinson guessed them all as well. What year did I do it? I did it in 2016.
Were you the millionth runner? Is that going to be the big reveal?
Is that the big reveal?
That would be great, wouldn't it?
Imagine how cool that would have been if I was the millionth runner. Wow. We'll find out, shall we? Let's do the answers. Let's do the answers.
Come on, 5
so you've
out
got
of 5.
all yours are in. You've answered me on team, so I can see your answers. Question 1, tricky one. The warmest London Marathon record 2018, was that higher or lower than the current warmest day this year? 2025's warmest day this year so far, 12th of April. Was at Northolt, 24.0 degrees Celsius. The warmest London Marathon on record, 2018, was 24.2.
Okay,
so it was warmer.
I had 24 in my head, so I was like, that makes me think it's warmer.
It's warmer, 24.2, so 0.2 degrees warmer. And as I say, this year, unlikely, but I wouldn't rule it out. Because we're going for 22 as the max. It could easily be 23, and it wouldn't take much to shift that for it to get close to that 24.2. I'm surprised that seems quite low to me. I would have guessed it to be higher than that. But if you went warmer, you were correct. Well done.
That was a tough
It was a tough opener, but there was only 3 options. So
yeah, true.
Compensated.
It helps.
The wettest London Marathon on record was 1983, although the one that Clare did, as we heard, was also very wet. The wettest officially was 1983. And how much rain was recorded that day in Greenwich? The answer is... Got it right.
Did I?
22.6 millimetres, so just under an inch of rain fell that day. Important to note that it's not necessarily how much rain fell during the race, it's the daytime, it's the whole, so actually a lot of that rain could have fallen when they weren't running. So
That's true.
it's just the stats for that day in London.
Someone might have still been running.
Someone might have still been running.
You don't know.
I had a friend, Phil Avery, who ran it. He had to go back and finish it. He He had to go back and finish it 5 days later. Remember that day, that year they had the diver, the guy in a full diving suit did it. It took him like 5 days to finish it. Phil Avery had to go back and finish it with him because he was hoiked off because he'd lost his number. It's a really, quite a funny story.
I didn't realise you could do that.
Well, you weren't supposed to. He was
right.
he was only, okay. Yeah, he wasn't supposed to do that.
Oh, I see.
But it was only because this diver was still doing it. They let him go back.
Okay.
He's no fault for losing his number. I mean,
I know, yeah. You don't want to be doing that.
no, right, anyway, I digress. Chocolates and marathon anecdotes this week, isn't it? That's what you tuned in for.
Barely spoken about the weather.
That's what you tuned in for. What is the lowest minimum record in the London day on the day of the London Marathon? It was in Kew Gardens, 1991. And was it below freezing? Yes, it was. Minus 1.9 Celsius. So you got that one right as well. 3 from 3.
I think that rang a bell when I...
Minus 1.9 Celsius was the correct answer to that one.
Smashing this.
You are. 3 from 3.
Yeah.
What was my time when I ran in 2016? Just under 3.5, just under 4, just under 5.5, just under 5.
I guessed just under 4. I went for I almost did 4.5.
Well, my time, I say everything went perfectly. I was very lucky.
Yeah.
All the weather was fine. My training went well. My time was 3.
Oh.
58.53. So yeah, just under 4 hours. Just under 4 hours. So if you went with B, like Honor did, you were correct. Well done.
Okay, that's really good.
Well, as they say, everything did go according to plan. I was very, very lucky.
The stars aligned.
The stars aligned, and I wasn't overtaken by an armadillo.
Yeah, that helped.
Like Clare Nazir. Question 5. In what year did the London Marathon celebrate its 1 millionth finisher? 2016.
No! I knew it was going to be too good to be true. I guessed 2014.
So close, you guessed 2014.
Do you know, as soon as I sent that, I thought, that feels too early.
That was the year I did it, 2016, but I wasn't the millionth.
You weren't.
I can confirm that I wasn't the millionth finisher. If you are running the London Marathon, then all the best, very good luck. My top tip, don't run the first mile very quick. Really slow down because everyone goes too fast early on.
They get too excited.
Get too excited, and even if you're just aim to be really slow for that first, because if any energy you expend in that first you lose, it will cost you 5 times that in the later miles. Really? That was a top tip I had from a friend of mine who was a runner. It's really, absolutely, that is the key thing. Please don't go off too fast.
Slow and steady.
If you're going to watch, well, even if you're running as well, don't forget the sunscreen because UV levels will probably be 5, might even be 6 by Sunday. It is going to be warm, plenty of fluids on board, and if you're going to watch, cheer on as well. And good luck if you've got 2 toddlers and elderly parents
balloons.
like and balloons. It was really good to have the balloons.
Yeah, that's quite a good
top tip. I was able to pick them out in the crowd, but it was a bit of a nightmare on the tube for my wife, etc. But anyway, we digress. Right, I think that was let us know how you did. Bill Barclay, 3 out.
Did anyone get 5? I'm always interested.
Chazando LFC. 2 out of 5. Well, better luck for Liverpool on Sunday. James E.B. 1 out of 5.
James W. 5 out of 5 with a few guesses. Beat me.
That's impressive. Gordy B. Non-chafing clothes. That is also crucial.
Yeah.
Vaseline is useful for that. Don't need to go into any more detail, but yeah. What was question 4, Chris? Hey, come on, Chris. Hey, keep up. It was what time did I do?
Yeah.
Which was just under 4 hours. Irish Vic, you guys are great. Thank you, Irish Vic. Share the love. Let everyone know if you do enjoy this, because we enjoy doing it. We want to keep doing it, and so let everyone know. Do hit that like button. Also, another thing you can follow, another thing you can check out is the Met Office on Spotify.
Yeah, we are literally everywhere.
We are.
Go on Spotify.
Can't get enough of us.
Got all our videos on there.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yeah. You can follow us on there. We're on WhatsApp.
We are on WhatsApp.
There we go.
Yes.
No escape.
No escape from us. follow us on there, follow us on
Yeah.
WhatsApp as well, get all the latest press releases. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, do that. That's really easy to do. Just hit the subscribe button now, and while you're at it, hit the like button and the thumbs up as well. And then you won't miss a 10-day trend or a deep dive, and there'll be lots more about this current warm spell, particularly next week. The 5 things on Monday, the week ahead on Monday. What am I doing next week? I think it's Aidan doing the week ahead and the 5 things on Monday. I'm doing the 10-day trend next week, which will be looking at when the hot spell's ending.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
The other end of it, yeah.
So yeah, do hit subscribe. Do give us a follow on Spotify. One other video I want to flag, tornadoes.
Yeah.
Alex B. I haven't
Tornadoes in
watched
the
it yet,
UK.
but
Oh, it's good.
Is it really good? It's done
one.
really well on YouTube.
Yeah,
Had a lot of
it's
love.
been a popular video.
So we'll put a link up to that at the end, so you can go and watch that now, because it's a really, really good one. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. We're 1:05. I've been rambling on
too much chocolate
too much
chat.
chocolate, too much chocolate chat. But yeah, keep your questions coming. As I say, even if you're not watching this live, put the questions in, put your comments in. We do love reading them, and we appreciate all of your feedback. But until next time, thank you very much, and goodbye.
Bye.